Good morning, everyone, and happy Tuesday. Welcome back to the Adobe XD Daily Creative Challenge. My name is Howard Pinsky, Senior XD Evangelist here at Adobe, and a big good morning and hello to everyone joining us live on Behance, including Nathaniel and Carlos and Olivier and Nikita and Anna. And if I mispronounce anyone's name, I apologize. Richard, if you are joining us live here this morning, let us know where you are, where you're tuning in from. I'm streaming today from so far beautiful and slightly sunny California, obviously California. San Francisco. Got Gusbot in the house over there, Paco in the house over here. It's a good time. We also have a great lineup for you, packed with UI and UX goodness today. So we've got me kicking things off at 8:30 this morning with the Daily XD Challenge. And we've got Erica coming up with Melody at 9 o'clock. I'll be back here with John at 11, and then Camille will be with Melody again at 1 o'clock. A lot of good UI and UX stuff today, tomorrow, and Thursday, so definitely stick around for that. And oh, look at all these places coming in. Oh my gosh, Indonesia and Serbia and Portugal, Costa Rica, Seattle. Man, I love seeing people tune in from all over the world. It's wonderful. So, what do we have planned for today? Let me hop over to my screen. And here is the Daily XD, or the Daily Creative Challenge landing page, behance.net/Daily Creative Challenge. First thing you'll see, a big blue button at the top. Go ahead and press the big blue button at the top. That way you know exactly when we release new challenges every single morning at 8 o'clock in the morning. And then at 8:30 in the morning, bright and early, you're gonna be joining me live to kick off that day's challenge. Then you're gonna be using Adobe XD to design and prototype whatever that is, and we'll get into today's challenge in a second. We got people from London and Ireland, Chicago, Paris. I love that. Good morning, everyone. Or good afternoon. Probably where you are, it's afternoon. And then you have until March 29th, and just a few days to complete all your challenges and upload everything to Behance with the keyword XD Daily Challenge. But as I've mentioned, every single day during this, you're probably sick of hearing this already, but we're really doing this to help you build up your skills, build up a portfolio, and hopefully attract new clients. So if you need a few extra days to sharpen up your designs and get them up on Behance, take a few extra days. No prizes, not a competition. It's really there for you to build up new skills. So grab XD for free, join us on Slack. And here is Slack here. We've got an announcement section with 16,888 people. That's a lot of people. I want to get to 17,000 by the end of the week. So invite your friends, send them a link, bit.ly/XD Slack. You can grab, there it is, boop, right there. Go there. Sometimes the link shows that it's expired, but clear your cache and you'll be able to join. There's also a great ask a question section, chat, design feedback, and Emma just posted this morning. Let me go ahead and play this. This is from yesterday's challenge, which is to design a purchase flow interaction or mock-up. And she kind of combined everything into one little pop-up window with the products on the left, the information on the right, and she can click through to add all this information, names, shipping address, card details, etc. And then she can place the order. So I thought that was really cool. Everyone's booping in the chat. I love this. I love how something as silly as a boop just like goes crazy in the chat. I love it. Yeah, so jump in the design feedback section. Ask for specific feedback if you want feedback on your products or your flow, or whatever it might be. And then once you receive feedback, find someone like Emma or Sean or Ed who wants some feedback and, help them out a little bit. So today, what do we have going for today? So we started last Tuesday with a navigation bar. We moved on to marketing real estate, which covered some banners at the top. We moved on to top products using the Google Sheets plugin. That was super cool. Friday, we moved on to user support, creating an overlay chat widget. And then we moved to yesterday, Monday, which was simplified purchase flow. And then today, let me refresh, it disappeared on me. Whew, here we go. Today, we're moving on to subscribe and save. So many websites, including pet websites or Amazon you might be familiar with, they have like a subscribe option where if you want to buy one item, it'll be, let's say, $10. But if you want to subscribe to that item and receive it on a weekly basis or a monthly basis, they'll give you a bit of a discount. So they'll knock off like 10% or 5% or whatever it might be. So we're gonna work that into the designs that we've been working on over the last 2 weeks. And I really want you all to get really creative with this. There's a lot you can do with subscribe and save items and things like that. So before we hop over to Adobe XD, very quickly, I wanna show you about 3 other entries that have come in over the last day. This one is from Roger, and I thought that this was super cute at the top, but he did put together this very in-depth Behance project, which is amazing. If you are looking for clients, definitely do something like this. Show your design system, show your colors, show the logos, how you got to every stage of the project. High fidelity, low fidelity. And then there's a prototype down here, which he showed. He also included some of the stuff from yesterday, adding to cart and so on and so forth. And there were some little animated interactions in there, if you caught that. And here we go. Let me quickly jump through this. He did get to adding to the cart. There we go. So you can check out. So there's a little bit of a checkout experience, and then there's a chat experience that we covered on Friday. So nice job, Roger. Next is from, this one is, I believe is from Eds, EDS, who was in Slack. He might be also in Behance chat as well. But he put together this really nice interactive prototype, which you can publish directly from Adobe XD, and auto animate works, drag works, all that fun stuff. And you don't know exactly where to click. You can just click anywhere on the screen, and it's gonna show you that you gotta click there. You can hide the overlay, add something to the cart, and watch this. There's a little fun little interaction where he used animated masks, or just mask in general, and animated items within that mask. And then you can go back up here, add to cart, proceed to checkout. And this just feels like a very polished website. There's a few animations in there, nothing too crazy. And you can notice as I'm doing this, the price actually changes over to the right. Awesome. And this one's from Andy, who's one of our regulars in the chat, and I don't know what this is interesting, but you know, I think he did this just to troll us, but it's, you know, it's fun. It's a fun interaction. You can chat with me live. And Andy has a very important question. When is the next XD update, and will it have dark theme? So, you know, next update coming soon, because we're almost in April, and there will be one in April. When is dark theme coming? I don't know. I wish I did know. I want dark theme in Adobe XD. So anyone watching, Talon usually watches this morning stream. I want dark theme. But honestly, you know, there's a lot of other features that we have to get out before, you know, the update to symbols and a few other things that are desperately needed in Adobe. Not desperately, but they're needed in Adobe XD. Definitely before dark theme. But, you know, it'll come eventually, probably. Maybe pink theme will come first. All right, so let's hop over to Adobe XD. We're gonna get designing. So there's a few things we're going to do to kind of promote the subscribe and save functionality on this website. The first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna create a pop-up window on this page. And I know we all hate pop-up windows, but sometimes they're necessary for things like websites and promotions, subscribe and save type things. And you know, everyone loves dark theme. Go to adobeXD.uservoice.com, upvote the dark theme request, because it's down there. It's not up there at the top, because there's a lot of people who want other things before dark theme, but I want dark theme. So go upvote that thing. So that's what the first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna create that, and then we're gonna actually add a little bit of an area over here to the right on the checkout screen, so that if people ignored the pop-up window, like we all do, they'll be able to activate the subscribe and save feature directly from the checkout experience. So here we go. We're gonna create an artboard. We're gonna be using overlays as well, like we did, I think, twice already in this challenge. I'm just gonna drag out a window just like this, or an artboard. And then in that artboard, I'm going to grab a rectangle. That way I can just place an image directly inside of that rectangle. Make sure it's centered in my artboard. It is. I don't need a border, but I'll change the fill just a little bit darker, just so I can see it against that white artboard. Now for an image, let me hop over to Finder. I have this image here. I don't know what to make of this image, but it's so ridiculous. I found it on Adobe stock. it's perfectly ridiculous. So I'm gonna drag this into Adobe XD, place it here. I can always double click to move it around if I need to. I'll pop it right about there. And I wanna see some crazy images. When you all are designing this subscribe and save experience, I wanna see some pretty interesting, creative images. Best image ever, I agree. All right, so on this banner that we're gonna have pop up in people's faces, and you know, if a banner is gonna pop up in my face while I'm browsing a website, it better look like this, right? I know, poor cat, right? So I'm gonna type out, let's say, subscribe right here. I'll change that to white. And I'll just very easily increase the size of this using that little handle at the bottom. And maybe for this, because it's all capital letters, I'll go with either a black or an ultra black. No, ultra black's too much, just a black, I think it looks good. Add some nice weight to this. So subscribe, and then below we probably, yeah, we'll keep it black, we'll see, to save a kitten. There we go. Because this kitten looks very sad. So, you know, if you subscribe, you will save this kitten's life. But you're also gonna save some money. So right below, and some money, right? Because we want to make sure that people know that you're not just subscribing to save a kitten, you're also subscribing to save a little bit of money. So I'll make this a little bit smaller. Pop that right there. Maybe drop the opacity a touch. About 50% looks okay. And I will move this up a little bit so we have a little bit of breathing room. How's that looking, everyone? Looking good? It's getting there. All right, I want a few more. Let's say 10% off. And then we got to actually explain what they're saving on. So I'm just gonna copy some of these layers. When you turn on auto ship. There we go. So now they'll know exactly what they're gonna be spending their money on, what they're gonna be saving, what they have to do, and that sort of thing, right? Maybe I'll make this a little bit bigger, just so it lines up with the text. Perfect, and now we need a button so people can know that they can click on this banner to actually do something. So right below, I'm gonna grab my rectangle, drag this out, and because yesterday all of you loved the rounded corners, we're gonna do that. We're gonna just go super round, and I love this feature in Adobe XD. You have these little handles on the inside of rectangles. You just drag it inwards, boop, and now it's rounded. I'll turn off the fill, make the border nice and white. Increase this a little bit. I will have to move things around, but you know, we'll leave it there just for now. And save, right, meow. Because, you know, we gotta get funny with this. Beautiful. That looks pretty good. All right. Now, obviously, I'm gonna make the border a little bit thicker. There we go. I'm gonna group all this stuff, Command and Control G, this will be the button. And I wanna make sure that everything has a little bit of breathing room. So I'm gonna move this up a touch. I might move this up a touch as well. Super Troopers, yes, Nathaniel got the reference. I was hoping someone would get that. Come on, button, there we go. Perfect, all right, that looks pretty good. It's getting there, looking fancy. And of course, you know, with enough time, I can probably finesse this to look even cooler, but we'll leave it at this. So we have our overlay now, and we wanna be able to use this on our main screen. So in this case, there's a few ways we can do it. We can do it as a time transition, or we can just do it as, you know, let's see what a time transition looks like. So I'm gonna just grab the entire artboard in prototype mode, and using the handle over to the right, I'm gonna drag this over to my new overlay. And I'm gonna set it to a time transition, and then maybe I want it to take place, let's say 0.6 seconds after the page loads. And then I'm gonna have an overlay, and this will allow me to position it exactly where I want it, anywhere above the fold. So I'm gonna position it right about here. Great. And then you can decide if you want any sort of animation. Do you want it to just appear? Do you want it to dissolve in? Or do you want to slide up, down, left, or right, or whatever it might be? I will have it just dissolve, because you probably, well, you know what? Let's have it slide up, just to get a little bit fancy. And we'll have it snap into place with 0.4 seconds. So now when I play this prototype, it slides in after 0.6 seconds. And of course, you can always go back. You can move the stuff around. Maybe 0.6 seconds was a little bit too much. Maybe 1 second. Play it, and it slides in. And then you can click off of it to dismiss it. So that looks pretty good. And of course, a time transition may not be the best idea because after you click off of it, it basically repeats itself. So, you know, have fun with it, experiment. But there's also another way you can introduce subscribe and save, and that's directly on the checkout experience. And you've probably seen this on Amazon, you're browsing products, and on the side, it gives you the option to buy it once, or you can subscribe and save, receive it every 4 weeks or whatever. Kristen says it's gigantic. You're probably right. It probably is a little bit too large, especially for a website like this. So when you're designing yours, definitely make it a little bit smaller. Yeah, Aaron's saying it's a huge overlay. Well, when you're dealing with a cat that looks like this, you want it to be in your face, right? No, probably not. But yeah, make it a little bit smaller. You can also integrate this directly into these banners. So, you know, have fun with it. Do some cool stuff. So to wrap this up, let's go ahead and add an area over here. So we might want it beside this section at the top. So there's a few things we can do to start. We can start with responsive resize. So I have everything inside of this group, and I'm just going to drag all this. Look at this. Look how cool this is. Responsive resize just like nicely moves all this stuff in. But before I do that, I might want to, you know, make this one a little bit smaller. Make the image a touch smaller. Move this over a little bit. There we go. And now just drag this in, and everything just moves really nicely. And if things are not moving super nicely for you, you can always go in, turn on manual constraints, and make sure that the width is fixed, the height is fixed, and all that fun stuff. And it'll move all fancy. And I do have videos on how responsive resize works if you want to go more in depth with that. So I'll leave it right about there for now. And just to make my life a little bit easier, I'm going to copy the card in the background and just paste it over here. Or just drag it, whatever. Move it outside of this group. Boop. There we go. Line this up. And now we have an additional card over here to the right, which is going to house our subscribe and save section. Now I can start adding some elements. Want to save? Of course I do. Who doesn't want to save money? Make this a little bit smaller. Put this right about there. All right. Perfect, now we have a header, and now we need some elements inside of this. So we're gonna have some radio buttons, we're gonna have some text, some drop-down fields. So I'm gonna grab my ellipse tool. You can also do that with the shortcut key E. Drag out a small little ellipse right about there. I'll have a very subtle border. I love my subtle borders, not too crazy. Perfect. And then this will be subscribe and save. Obviously way too big, so I can just drag this, whoops, make that a little bit smaller. Smaller, there we go. Probably don't want it super bold. Let's go for medium. Medium's a nice weight. Put that there. And then right underneath it, we need to tell users what exactly they'll be subscribing. So you'll save 10% by turning on auto ship. And this one will definitely have to be even smaller. And I'll just make sure everything lines up quite nicely. There we go. Great. Now the next thing we need, in addition to an option to not subscribe and save, we also need a drop down to select the frequency. So I'm going to grab my rectangle, just drag one out across my artboard, or across my little box. Right there, again, a very subtle border. And ideally, I'd probably be saving these colors to my assets panel. I'd probably be also saving some of these elements as symbols, which soon you'll be able to resize, which will be really fancy, and override. I can't wait to show all of you that fancy stuff. And then inside here, receive. No one saw that spelling mistake. Every. Actually, I can probably keep this as one text box every, let's say, every month. And then month, I might want to have nice and bold. There we go. Perfect. So that'll be kind of centered or to the left of this box. And then we need a little arrow going downwards so people know that they can click on that to expand the box and choose a different frequency. So I believe in this UI kit that Marisa provided to us, we have a few arrows. Here's one here. I can just grab this one, drag or copy it. I lost myself. There we go. Pop it right there, move that up, and make it a little bit bigger so it's nice and visible. Perfect. All right. I'll make that a little bit darker. Great. And then right below it, we probably want two things. We want a line to separate the top section from the bottom section. We also want an option so that if someone does not want to receive these products on a monthly basis, they'll be able to press that. So I'll just grab this and this, drag this downwards. Actually, you know what? I can probably grab this, this, and this. Hold down Alt or Option and just drag this down. And this will be, nah, I'm good. And this will say, you'll receive this product once. It's probably not great copy, but you know, we'll run with it. And then we'll just grab a line and drag this across. Again, fairly subtle border. Looking good. And maybe in this case, the user did select that they just want the product once. So inside of here, we'll just duplicate this circle, make this a little bit smaller, and fill this with a darker color. That way we know that this is the active item. Make this a little bit smaller. Perfect. All right, so there we go. Not the prettiest thing in the world, but it'll probably do. And it gives users the option to subscribe and save. And of course, if they did select that, we could have another artboard that kind of like what Ed did is, you know, once you click on something at either additional products or subscribe and save, then the price will change. So it'll show the discount. And in that case, what you could probably do, let me actually duplicate this artboard over just to show you very quickly what we can do. Where did that duplicate? Okay. I'll put it over here. So in that case, we can move some of this stuff down. Make this a little bit larger. Move total. And it'll be 10%, so you're saving like, what's 10%? 90 cents, something like that. So 8.99 minus 90-ish. Saving about, okay, so 809. I could have done that in my head, but you know, I'm lazy. And this could be, so we'll do this, move this up, and subscribe. You know what, I probably want to justify that to the right. Subscribe and save discount. And we'll do 90 cents. Even though it's not exactly 90 cents, you know, we'll run with it. And we'll do a nice red color. There we go. Grab this little circle, move that up, whoops, move that up here. So now we know that subscribe and save has been turned on, and we can move some of this stuff back into place. There we go. So ideally, what we can do is on this screen here, in prototype mode, do we have this? So we have this linked up. So now if we press on the subscribe and save little bubble, press that, drag this down here. We can do tap. We'll do a little bit of auto animate because the same elements are available on both artboards. So I'll do auto animate. We'll just do a little, let's try snap. We'll see what that looks like. So from the home screen, we have our overlay that pops up. We can click on this to add to the cart. We're taken here, we're given the option to subscribe and save, or we're given the option to just receive the product once. You can press on that. And things kind of, you know, obviously we have to mess with the text a little bit, and that little button kind of flew up. So you probably don't want that, but you know, that's an option. You can definitely do that. And so let me show you that one more time. Boop, there we go. So very quickly, we created this amazing subscribe to save a kitten banner that's gonna bother you users. But ideally in your designs, you would nicely integrate it into the workflow, whether it's a banner at the top or a nice little pop-up that kind of slides up from the bottom that doesn't take up the entire screen. I encourage you to all get creative with it. And then we added this little subscribe and save section over to the right to encourage users to save on a monthly basis. So that will do it for today's Daily XD or Adobe XD Daily Creative Challenge. I'll be back tomorrow morning with day number 7, possibly. What day is tomorrow? 7, yes, GusBot has confirmed. Tomorrow's day number 7. We're almost at the end of the week. I'm sad. And, stick around. We got Melody and Erica coming up in just a few minutes with some UI and UX stuff, and I'll be back at 11 o'clock with, I think it's John. I forgot his name. I'm a great host. I'll see you all tomorrow.